Better and perfect are the enemies of what is actually needed. Alan Kay. Today's lens is the Kino Precision Kiron 28mm f2. Tessa and I will test its performance, and at the end we will give it our CLV score. But first we're going to look at its features and handling. The lens was introduced in 1980 and was also produced for Vivitar. The mount of this lens is Nikon F, although it was also available for all major camera systems like Canon FD, Minolta SR, Olympus OM, Pentax K and more. It has 8 elements in 8 groups. The aperture closes down to f16 and clicks at every half stop, except between f11 and f16. The aperture ring turns in the opposite direction of the focus ring, however, which I find a bit odd. It has 6 blades, the minimum focus distance is 30 cm and the filter diameter is 55 mm. Its weight is roughly 250 grams. The aperture ring with its ribbed surface offers a secure grip and operates reliably. The focus ring is also quite nice to operate. To focus from near to far, you need to turn the ring 105 degrees. We will be testing the lens on a Sony A7III and this Fuji GFX50S. On the Fuji, it's equivalent to a full-frame lens with a focal length of roughly 22mm and a maximum aperture of f1.6. Our first test is about distortion and vignetting using this Adobe camera calibration chart. There's a bit of barrel distortion and also vignetting, of course. At f5.6, however, it's almost gone. You could correct distortion and vignetting in your editing software, but you could also use the correction profiles I offer for download on my Patreon page. The link is in the description. Next is lateral chromatic aberration, which is clearly visible but can be easily corrected. Longitudinal chromatic aberration is also clearly visible wide open, but it weakens quite quickly when stopping down. Chromatic aberration in the focal plane is pleasingly minimal, only a faint purple fringe is visible at f2. Unfortunately, when attached to a GFX camera, the lens shows noticeable black corners. On the A7, we are now testing the sharpness at infinity. In the middle of the frame, it's already very good wide open, only contrast is a bit low. Maximum sharpness is achieved at f5.6, while it decreases again at f16 due to diffraction. Next, the sequence outside the center of the frame. Here we can already see a noticeable drop in sharpness. A good result isn't achieved until f11. Unfortunately, the corners look even worse. It's not until f16 that we see acceptable sharpness. This is the setup for the minimum focus distance test. In the center we see good sharpness at f2, which becomes very good starting at f2.8 and remains that way before decreasing again at f16. Unfortunately again, the image corners are noticeably worse here as well. Only at f16 you get a level of sharpness that's acceptable. In our last sharpness test, Tessa shows herself at her best and the lens also convinces. Only wide open is the contrast a bit low. Otherwise we see very good results. Now to the bokeh. It looks a bit uneven to me. Some people like this painterly effect, and I won't rule out that it might look good under certain conditions. In general though, I'd describe it as somewhat distracting, though it's not as noticeable at longer focusing distances. Now let's conclude the technical tests with coma and sunstars. Coma isn't actually that strong, but astigmatism is pretty extreme. But at least it's already greatly reduced at f2.8 and under control at f4. Then sunstars begin to form and they look fine. To give you an impression of how the lens performs in real life, here are some examples I took with both the Sony and the Fuji. Please enjoy. Welcome back. Time to give the lens the CLV score now. For handling and features, it's a 6. For aberrations, a 5. Its sharpness is only a 2. The bokeh, a 5. For the sunstars, we give it a 6. You can get this lens for 50 to 100 euros used, which is still quite good. 31 out of 60 points. Well, at least it's in good company. And by the way, the link to the full table is in the description. Thanks for watching everyone, and please consider liking and subscribing.